Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go through our daily technical analysis of commodities. We'll work our way through the dollar yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into all of these topics and sectors looking for potential investment opportunities and sharing that with everyone in the community. We do have a discount coupon code that is active. Special is the coupon code. Special. It's 50% off the first month only on the monthly membership, and a larger discount on the yearly membership if you're interested in signing up or switching to the yearly membership. All right, let's dive in, take a look, see what's going on today. We've got the DXY here. It has explosively moved to the downside the past week or so. And now it looks like we're trying to find some footing here, a little bit of support, and you can see that with the shrinking of the opening and closing price and the wicks at the bottom. And you can usually look left. You've got lots of support through this in general, that area there. So you're going to get some hiccups there where we could come back up. Maybe it rolls back over or something like that, whatever it looks like, but we're getting some support. We are seeing yields start to turn up a little bit, and that is generally a driver, or could be a driver, of a stronger DXY. And remember, DXY is not absolute. It is relative to other currencies and monetary systems. So our 2-year yields moving on up. It's also finding support where it's at. We'll see if we get a turn or if this downside momentum will carry through and it's just a flag pattern. Very well could be. We've got the 10-year yield also up. It's up against a little bit of resistance, providing a little bit of overhead. Now, some people who are looking at this, they say, Andy, it's definitely a shoulder, head, shoulder. Maybe. Could be. I'm not saying that it's not possible. Very well could be. We'll have to see what it looks like. We could very well break out of this too and work our way higher. And this is just an overextended retest move. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what kind of trading action we've got going on. But the longer term, bigger picture view, the trend is up. We've broken through the 40-year downtrend of the longer term. And we were going to break out here, but it turned over, especially when Trump started yapping about lower interest rates. Somehow it just started to fall. What a coincidence, right? We got the 30-year also sitting on top of the pattern that's broken out of its big downtrend, the 40-year downtrend, and we're sitting on top of that pattern. We do have a lot of, I'll call it pressure, downward pressure on yields. We do have a reversal candlestick here on the bullish engulfing candlestick right there. And that's generally a turning candlestick to move higher. And I don't see any reversal yet. So the long end of the curve still could go higher. And I know that Besant and Trump want lower interest rates. And I think what they're talking about is the 10-year yield. They're aiming at this thing. And that they want to lower mortgage rates is what I think they're trying to do. But this is a 1, 2, 3 hump consolidation with a breakout to the upside. They got their hands full on this thing. They got full bore potential breakout, and they're fighting the market with this. TYX TNX ratio still at a really low ratio. We're sideways today. It's real low, and this has generally been good to enter precious metals down here and ride it back up. And that's your recession or slowdown in the market. That's what drives this upward, and the yield curve on inverts. Bond prices are down a little bit today with the rates coming up. This looks, God, man, I know they want interest rates to go down, which means bond prices should go up. But that's not what I'm seeing here. This still looks like it wants to go lower. Could this be a shoulder, head, shoulder? You're pushing there. It's a push. But we got to get above this resistance area right above us for me to really believe in the Besant. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a Besant. It would be ascent. It'd be an ascent higher. I got to wait and see. This still looks like we've got some selling pressure here in the bond market, which means higher yields. The 2 and the 10 tracking sideways. This is a curve that has uninverted to some degree here. We are stair stepping lower. Does the market know something that we don't? Is there a demand destruction event, as Francis Hunt would say? Well, that's what this was. So kind of weird how that occurred when the yield curve was rolling over and the big boys were positioning in bonds. Another weird one is that we were falling when 9/11 happened too. Kind of weird how they were all positioned in bonds for this move in 9/11, which occurred there. So could there be some sort of event that comes? If it is, it's probably a planned event. I don't know what it's going to be, but everyone will find out afterwards, and this will uninvert if something like that does occur. And this does look pretty bearish at the moment. We are in the middle of the real estate cycle, and this isn't being driven necessarily by the real estate cycle, in my opinion. Interest rates could slow the real estate cycle down, and we could get a recession, but that's not the main driver. It would be affordability of the real estate cycle, not the end of the real estate cycle going into a hypersupply phase. Two different things. People apparently cannot grasp that you could have different things like that. I don't think they understand the real estate cycle that well, but there's my opinion there. Gold down $8 an ounce. We've got some buying and selling pressure that are equaling each other. Now, if I were to look at this and I didn't know it was gold, I'd say that this is probably going to head lower. Why? You've got a big selling pressure impulse move lower here, and then you've got a smaller kind of move up, which generally ends lower. What makes me kind of flinch at this gold trade, because it's gold, I mean, is this here trying to be held and manipulated lower? I don't know. If the yield curve is really actually uninverting, this is going to go up and moonshot because this is the safe haven asset. And I know there's a bunch of stuff going on with them trying to get stuff from LBMA. There's all sorts of crap going on in the background. So who knows what's trying to go on here, but longer term, gold's going higher. And if we do get a slowdown in the market, I would expect gold to continue on up. Silver down 1.2%, but we are still well positioned for a move much higher, much, much higher, a land far, far away. And I know that movie was about the gold standard. I don't know if you guys know about that. God, what was that movie? Now I can't even remember it. A home far, far, far away. No, that's Forrest Gump. The little brick road, the gold brick road, whatever it is. Oh my God, I can't even think. Anyway, it's going higher. And if you guys know that movie, click your heels, go back to Kansas, that movie. Let me know in the comment section. Platinum down 1%. I know there's a lot of disbelievers in platinum because it hasn't moved yet. They are still trying to control the saliva coming out of their mouth because they don't understand that we buy patterns before it moves. We don't chase price. So if this just rips up here, I don't buy it when it's at $2,000 because the price moved. Those are the people that I buy my platinum from. I actually bought a bunch of platinum from a guy who bought it up here, and then I bought it down here. And that's the move that I am expecting to come. It's got the same fractal too. It's weird. People don't understand pattern recognition. I would expect that they don't do very well on IQ tests because it's kind of the whole deal there with these tests here. Oh my goodness, what is that? Hit the wrong thing there, guys. I don't know what's going on. Get out of that. I meant to hit Bar's pattern. So this is the pattern here. These patterns can stretch and move. The bigger portion is up there. You can see it's the same pattern. That there, and then it comes on down and squeezes into the corner there, just like we've got. I'm sure you guys can see the pattern. If you can't see this pattern, I don't know. Hopefully you're in like first grade or something, but if you can't see it, you've got some problem. Palladium, we are back at support. And it's a bullish formation. We've got a nice big move up. This is a flag pattern looking to go higher. So that's looking good. GDX is up a little bit. GDXJ is up a little bit, and SILJ is up a little bit. remind yourself, we were down on gold and silver today. Why are these up? Why is there positioning going on in the mining companies? Well, maybe something big's coming. GDXJ looks absolutely beautiful. This thing looks ready to just rip, not rest in peace, but rip to the upside. Looks really good there. SILJ also I'm going to say it in a launch formation where I think that we're going to break out of this and rip higher. Yeah, I didn't know that that arrow was there. XEU to gold ratio, we're seeing an outperformance today a little bit. We're up 0.6%. And I do think from this level, you've got really good risk reward properties. With the yield curve inverted, with gold moving up, gold's running like Forrest Gump. It's just going, 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 going. It'll probably run for a couple years, aka Forrest Gump. Come on, I hope you guys get the analogies. Gold and silver, mining companies divided by gold. If we keep oil low, this is going to be a great area. And it's a part of my portfolio that's doing it's doing very well here recently versus my oil and gas stuff. Well, energy service that fell off a cliff, but this is doing real well, and I think we're seeing a lot of good breakouts in the gold and silver mining companies. And I'll go over a couple of opportunities that I rarely see in the markets in a few companies that look absolutely stunning from a technical perspective. And I also think that they're going to do well. They are producers. So there's a couple companies that I'll share this weekend. We can set up a portfolio together too, guys. So here's crude oil. Crude oil is another one that I think will go higher. I know. People say $50. No, I'm not talking about the short term. Longer term, I'm bullish. We're up 1% today. We're at that support level. I know a lot of people are getting a little bit antsy. They think, well, we could go down if it breaks. If it breaks, it's going to be a false breakdown that slingshots us higher. We just don't have the oil in the world. In our inventories, in the SPR, where they want to buy stuff, they can try to push it down, but the second they try to buy oil, it's just going to push it right back up. So good luck with that and keeping it down for any length of time down here. The shale companies are pulling back on production, rig counts down, et cetera, et cetera. But if there is an event, a demand destruction event, then yes, it could very well go down in the short term, very well. We got TTF gas up, and I know this was going down quite substantially yesterday. There's your pullback. Momentum is still going down. We've got natural gas higher in America, and we're sitting above this big support area. Generally, when you get above here, you can get a launch. Short squeeze, big move, something like that could occur over time. We've got our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, up 1.74%. It's good to see it go up every once in a while. We are in what I think is a shoulder, head, shoulder, an inverted head and shoulder. Your pattern on a logarithmic is way up there. And we could get one last little move like we fell. So this way that we fell down came up into this pattern there and then fell is coming on up. Now this pattern here is facing kind of sideways. This one's upward facing. Upward facing patterns are bearish. Downward facing patterns are bullish, and sideways patterns are generally bullish if you entered it from the top side, from the downside up. So this is a bullish pattern, and I think that people are going to get scared here. There's going to be a washout sale. Maybe it already occurred, and people are going to exchange shares that they shouldn't have. OIH also up 3.44%, pretty strong day. We're underneath resistance here. We got to regain that resistance. Could we have more downside if we turn and roll over? We very well could in the short term. We've got Newcastle coal futures up about 2%. I do think this is trying to bottom. Looks pretty good to try to work its way up. We could have some more sideways action on top of this sideways action. But I do think eventually we'll work our way on up. We're going to hit most likely problems with energy. And coal's going to be our swing producer. So we love you, coal. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, we are still in this flag pattern. We don't have a ton of selling pressure. I think we're going higher. I know. Everybody thinks it's going lower. I'm going to take the opposite bet. I think we're going up with soon. Maybe not immediate, but soon. It can happen anytime. And it looks good there. We've got uranium futures pricing sideways today. We've been drifting a little bit lower. Soon, guys, we'll get a bottom sometime, somewhere in that circle, I think, and then we'll work our way on up. URA down 1.16%. Where's the selling pressure, guys? So what you generally see is you'll see a lot of selling pressure. The big reds start to come out from this. Maybe it's like a inverted flag there. Your inverted flag, what you do is you throw it in there. I'm just gonna do this real quick. Your flag pattern there is roughly how big it will go down, and I think that's probably been met. And we're starting to get small candlesticks. So the next thing you want to look for is a large green fat candlestick. Hopefully it comes over the next week or two or something like that, and that's generally a bullish setup. We don't have the bullish setup yet. It could be developing, and that's what we're looking for. URNM down 1.8%. Not a ton of follow through here. So we gotta look for some big greens to show up. The big greens show up, generally a good entry point. The big greens will probably show up where you get a lot of support in here, and that's generally where we're at. So we'll see what happens. We got URNJ down 3.3%, but we got a little wick at the bottom, and it's not a ton of follow through. Hey, this is something to look at. Let's see if we get follow through with the big green candlestick, like a bullish engulfing or bullish piercing, or a big hammer candlestick, whatever it is. Let's wait and see. A lot of this time, you'll get support in the general area where you've gotten support before. What people do from a psychological perspective, they'll say, oh, it's back down to where it is. I'm going to buy some more. Exactly the same thing that I'm doing. Copper down 2%, but we are on top of the area. Now, why did I cut this off? Why did I cut that off? Because you've got more turning points here than you do anywhere else. This is just one freak of a point that's up there. And if you look at it from a longer perspective, like a monthly, it'll just be a big wick at the top. So it's not a big thing. Now, if we get a monthly close up here, that's good. It's good. And I find it very difficult to see oil go down when copper's going up. So I think they're all going to move together. COPX down slightly. This looks good to move higher. The little bloody noses. We've got iron ore trying to find a base here. We did fall off a cliff there and came on back, but I think this is just a retest. And then eventually we'll work our way on up. Big pattern here. I think with the stimulus going on in China, this could be a good setup here. Aluminum, man, dear aluminum, what are you doing? Break out finally. Come on. Up against resistance. We've got nickel down slightly, but it's still working its way on a momentum up. We've got Mu up 1.27%, and again, I think this would have been a great entry point. Great entry point. Big long term. You've got the three hump consolidation, the breakout. This is your return move. Money gets made when you buy the return move. That's your ideal entry point for technical analysis, people. Emerging markets up 0.5%. I think we had a weaker dollar, right? Yeah, a little weaker dollar today, so that's looking good. We've got KRE down 0.12. Not much selling pressure. It's starting to slow down at support. We'll see if we get support. TAN's up 2.12. It's trying to put its best effort forward, is what I'll call it. But these companies, it's tough to go up when you're losing money. Lithium down slightly, coming back, doing some return retest moves. I think this is going up. Looks good. There's a reason it broke this downtrend. And it did get stuck on the downtrend. Don't worry. May take a little bit of time. You just got to chill and relax. Just let it do its thing. REMX up 0.6%. That's also doing breakout things. I think this is a good entry point, in my opinion, for me to enter. Not you, but for me. But if you want to, that's up to you. Baltic Dry Index up 4.8% or so, looking pretty good, coming back more towards the long-term average. If you were to do a statistical analysis and you just bought at these low levels all through here, you would have made a lot of money because it reverts to the mean. Well, duh. Well, what is the mean? You got to go back to math. XHB up 0.4%. What's going on here? Well, we need interest rates to go down if we want a big move up in XHB. I don't think this is done with the cycle yet. I do think it's possible that we could come back here before heading back higher in an event, perhaps. We've got Russell 2000 up 0.4%. It's at support. Plunge protection team better get in there and start lowering interest rates. Otherwise, things could get ugly. 10-year yield. The S&P 500 also holding on, the plunge protection team. If they don't get rates down and rates continue higher, it's a headwind. If they can pull off the rates are lower deal, maybe it can go back up. This is NASDAQ. NASDAQ trying to turn here. Trying. Momentum's still down, but it's trying to turn, and we'll see what happens. Watch interest rates. That's a big deal. 10-year yield. SMCI up 3.2%, looking like it's trying to turn higher. We've got NVIDIA up 1.92, getting a little bit ugly out here. We do have, kind of looks like we've got something going on here. Megaphone maybe, yeah, kind of pushing here, guys. Kind of a bad looking one, but we'll see what happens again. There's going to be some support down here at 96 bucks. Bitcoin down 3.5%. This doesn't look as good. I mean, we're kind of at resistance coming through here, and we very well could head lower on that guy there. Ethereum down 2.8%. Again, whenever you get these patterns angling upward, that's that stair step going lower. And then we've got MSDR down 5%. I'm not exactly sure how this business model works, but it's within the pattern. And then we've got VIX down 6%, but we're sitting on top of support. That moves up, we could see the S&P 500 fall, and we could see a spike much like that in volatility. But that's what I've got for today, guys. So give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you'd like. Specials, the coupon code. We've got a question and answer session coming up at 5 p.m. Sunday Mountain Time. I'll see you guys there. That's all I've got. We'll catch you next time.